afternoon, Easy Speakers. Do you save your photos? Did you ever think you could save them in a fun way? So, I'll tell you a little bit about me. When I was growing up, my mom had photo albums for me and my brother. We had separate albums for each of us, and we used to like to look at them. Some of them were started in the 60s, so they were old. They were black and white photos taped to black paper, and then she would, I don't know how she did it, but there was like white writing with the date and event. And then gradually she switched to photo albums where she just put the photos in pockets. And so when I was little, when I got my first camera, I did the same thing. I had photo albums, I put them in little pockets. And when I was older and I had children, I thought I would do the same thing. But then I found out about scrapbooking. So if you don't know what scrapbooking is, it's more than just putting photos in a pocket. It is creating an album, or mini albums, and using colored paper and stickers and embellishments to tell a story, and it's also a fun hobby. There is paper scrapbooking and digital scrapbooking, because of course we have digital photos now, but the people I've met that do digital scrapbooking actually end up printing out their pages and putting them in a book. So you still have a photo album. So I've got some examples. So this is, I'm just going to have to just kind of show you. So this is one that I believe my grandmother did of my mom and her sister. Wow. And so it is kind of like I was saying with the paper. So you put the photos in, and then she wrote the dates on. So it does preserve the photos. I mean, these are from 1938, whatever, and on. But does it really tell anything about these children? Do you really know anything about them? It just has a date and a photo. So I brought a couple of actual scrapbooking albums that I've done. I can go over a little bit more, but just to show you that it is a little more than it shows who it is and what they're doing, and it's presented in a fun way, fun to look at. So this one that I brought is of a wedding, so it's kind of an event scrapbook of one event. And I brought one that you can do whatever you want, but I started one when we got our trailer. It was kind of the trailer's photo album. It's called the Tango, and so this is the Tango's album. This is only 2 years. So I'll show you that in a minute, a little more. But I just wanted to kind of tell you like what different ideas people have. So some of the ways you can create stories, an event like in a wedding. You can do retirement albums. I've done some for people that I've worked with. Of course, I don't have them because they got them, and they seem to really enjoy them. We have a little book to remind them of the people they worked with and kind of what people have said about them. There's also chronological, of course, like these were. They were just put in order. Some people do it for their whole life. They just start one book and then they keep going and keep going and keep going. I have a little bit of a hybrid of everything. So I have albums for each of my children that are chronological, and I won't tell you what year I'm on right now, but probably in the last decade or two ago. There's also portrait albums. I did complete those of my kids, so I've got portraits of each, their baby pictures, and then up to their high school graduation.
So how do you put those in, because some of them are big pictures?
Well, I know it's a whole thing, but I started when they were little. I just said every time there's a school picture or something, I always get an 8 by 10. So I tried to do that as they were growing up. So I always had 8 by 10s. So it's an album of this size. So you can look through it, see their baby photos, see all the way, see what they looked like when they were growing up. It was kind of fun. There's also, people do trip albums, of course, kind of like the Tango albums. They're trips. I have a lot more that I would like to do. I'd like to do a hiking album, where I put all my hiking trips in. And there's also holiday albums. So I do have Christmas albums. So every Christmas, it's kind of fun to see what you did every year. You can put your cards in there. You can put people send photos of their families and put them in there. So that's fun. So all of these projects involve getting photos together. So that's the tedious part. And then you select your albums and your materials. Some of them, sometimes you can get a kit for a certain event. So for example, this wedding album, I got a kit. So it helped a lot. And then I just had to match all the photos. There was like 500 pictures to choose from. But I kind of was able to match, like for example, the dress. There was a picture of the dress. So it kind of tells the little story. There's the walking down the aisle. There's the cake. This is a simple album. It wasn't even that hard to do. It's just matching the colors of the photos to your paper. So you can either make the album up ahead of time and then put the photos in, or like I like to do is to get my photos together and then match it to different papers and different themes. I don't know if you can see. So like here's some ocean pictures. So I matched it to blue paper. So the tango went to the ocean. And the mountains, we've got little mountain paper. And then it's also fun because you can write right on the book what you did. That's what I like about it. And the other thing I like about it is that you can work with other women. Mostly it's women. Men can do it too, I suppose. But it's kind of a fun time to get together, forget about your housework and your, like you were saying, you like to relax. Right. You can relax and concentrate on something else. It's a fun thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about my awesome hobby, and maybe I can share more later next time. And I can answer any questions you have later also.
I really did enjoy your speech though, because the idea of scrapbooking is not something I do, but when I see people do that, to be able to preserve those memories, I think it's a great idea. Of course, I gotta confess, Facebook is my scrapbook, but eventually that goes away in time, so I don't think that really counts. See, what you excelled at. Okay, showing the various example scrapbooks. Now that's great, you have a lot of different examples of different styles of scrapbooks, which I find interesting. Actually, I was beginning to learn things because you have different style scrapbooks that I know very little about, and I appreciate the various examples. Okay, what you may want to work on, if you like examples because of lack of the time, because what it is, I love your examples, but unfortunately, the time constraints I give you, I'm going to shove everything in until you have to just rattle through it fast. And I'm going, I wish you had more time, actually. And speak a little louder and slower, because sometimes with me, even when I'm doing my speech, I realize I tend to talk fast and nervous. But as I think about it, when you talk louder and slower, I'm realizing the older I get, the harder it is for me to hear. So as I get older, I appreciate perhaps louder and slower. And going through the actual point system, spoken language is clear and easy to understand. I thought so, but again, louder and slower, because as you look around, we're not teenagers anymore, so we need louder and slower. But overall, I go tone, speech, volume, and tools. Overall, I thought they were good. I gave you a 4 on that. Maybe a little more volume, but fluctuating, but overall tones I thought were good. I love the way you shifted tones when you go through each book and stuff. Effectively use eye contact in the audience. I love the idea, but perhaps slow down, because I know you're going between the books, scanning through the audience, and all of a sudden, I barely get a chance to see your eyes. I'm going, oh my gosh, she's already in the next book, and so I think that's that time and rushing deal as well. Physical gestures, I don't know what to say that's wrong or anything with that, because you hooked the books up and you did show the various examples of stuff. What else do you expect? I don't know. So I thought your gestures are fine. He demonstrates awareness of audience engagements. Actually, yes, I see you responding to the audience, because you see how the audience is moving, you're responding to that. And I'd say yes. So I gave you about a 4 on that. A 5, I don't know if that's even possible. Okay. Appears comfortable in the audience. Well, to me, you did look kind of nervous up here. But then again, I think it's a combination of time, a lot of material, those details. So I didn't really see you really comfortable with us. But don't worry, we won't bite, we'll just tell you're out of time. Oh gosh, okay. But engages the audience in interesting and well-constructed content. Yeah, I love the content. Various books and stuff like that. I just wish I had more time to go through it more. Although I don't plan to go into scrapbooking, but to learn the ideas is actually pretty neat. Feedback from speech applied to the second speech. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the first
That's
of the
right,
two.
that'll be next time.
So this doesn't even apply here, because I do believe in this system, you gotta do the speech twice, right? Take some of the feedback and stuff and do some speech when you speak, perhaps speak slower and stuff like that. And I'm assuming I'm way out of time, so I'll go ahead and sit on down.